What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Hoare, this is Ethan Hoare, and today we are back with another tier ranking. Today, I just watched Terrifier 3 and All Hallows Eve, but Terrifier 3 is the big one, and we are going to be going through and tier ranking every Terrifier kill, not including the kills in All Hallows Eve, because I didn't want to. But all the kills from Terrifier 1, Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3, I have compiled into a tier list, and we're going to go through and rank them all right now. So, don't think we need much of an intro. Well, let's get right into the tier list. Okay, so starting off at the top of the tier list, we have Terrifier's Best, which is obviously the best kills, Gory Goodness, Carnage Candy, which are just, the middle of the road kills, the average ones. Then we have Basic Slasher, which is just a basic kill. And did you forget what franchise this is? Which is for the worst of the worst, because if you're watching a Terrifier movie, you are only watching it for the kills. So if the kill sucks, I'm just going to assume you forgot you were making a Terrifier movie. So I went through all the movies, and some of them I wrote down. So I had Monica as our first kill. Then I realized that she actually survived that. So technically the first kill is Steve, the owner of the diner, and he is decapitated off screen and turned into a jack-o'-lantern. I really liked the kill from Halloween 2018 where he turned someone into a jack-o'-lantern. I did not remember that it actually happened in Terrifier as well. I'm gonna put the first kill in Gory Goodness. I really like the concept of someone's head being carved out like a jack-o'-lantern, and apparently this happened before Halloween 2018, so I gotta credit this as the first one. And you also get the little fire, which, while being unrealistic, is still pretty cool. Next up, we have Ramon, which is the first real kill scene we get, where he gets his fingers cut off and he is stabbed a whole bunch in the face. And by the way, if you guys want to see these kills, go watch the movies, because, well, I can't show the clips. I can't show the clips at all. So yeah, if you want to see them, go check it out on the actual movie. But so he is going to go into Carnage Candy. Not a great, one of the best kills of the franchise. Still a good kill for any movie standards. But in a Terrifier movie, it's pretty basic. He gets his face, hacked open with a cleaver, maybe? I don't remember what he gets stabbed with. And he gets his fingers cut off. So pretty basic for Terrifier, but still going in the middle tier here. Next up, Dawn. Everybody knows this kill. It is the most iconic from the original Terrifier, and it's going up to Terrifier's Best. This is one of my favorite kills in the Terrifier franchise. For sure my favorite from the original Terrifier. And if you don't know what kill I'm talking about, there is a woman who is strung up upside down and is hacksawed in half, and you get to see all of it. It is so gory and easily the best kill from the first Terrifier. It looks great, and it just really shows off what Art the Clown is about. He is killing people who don't deserve it in the most horrific ways possible. So that is one of my favorite kills in the franchise. But then right after that, we get Tara, who is kind of the main character of the first movie, who just gets shot a bunch. Forget what franchise this is. Gunshot kills have no place in Terrifier. I mean, when you have the goriest kills in horror history, followed up by her getting shot in the head, and you only get to see one of the shots on screen. The rest of them are off screen. So yeah, did you forget what franchise this is? For sure. Especially, she's the main character, and you just kill her off with a gunshot. Yeah, no. Next up, we have the cat lady, who is skinned off screen. She's found without her scalp and without some of her other body parts, and then Art the Clown eventually wears them. While we don't get to see it on screen, we do get to see her body, so I am going to put it in Basic Slasher. It does look good, but as far as a kill in the Terrifier franchise, we don't get to see it on screen, so I'm going to knock it down a little bit for that. Then next up, we have, looks like his name is Will, who gets stabbed a whole bunch and then decapitated. Also going to go into Carnage Candy. As far as a kill in the Terrifier franchise goes, pretty basic. There's a lot of decapitations in this franchise, but still a good kill. But as far as Terrifier goes, there is much, much better. Next up, we have Mike, who gets his head crushed under the foot of Art the Clown. And I'm going to put this one into gory goodness. I really like this kill. I think head crushes, especially head stomps, always are great. One of my favorites is from Zombieland. I remember if it's from the first or the second one where Woody Harrelson stomps someone's or a zombie's head. I always think they look good, or when they're executed good, I think they're amazing. And this was a certainly well executed one, so it's going to go up into gory goodness. Next up, we have Art the Clown, the first time Art the Clown is killed. Yeah, I'm gonna go, did you forget what franchise this is? It's not a bad kill. To end the original Terrifier, I think it's a completely decent way to end it, but to take out your villain who you've seen the entire time killing people in the most horrific ways possible, someone you want to see get what's coming to them, and he just goes out by... And that's going to finish out the original Terrifier. So starting off with Terrifier 2, we have the Coroner, which we do see at the end of the original Terrifier. He's getting strangled, but then it is the beginning of the second Terrifier, and you get to see his head get pulverized. I'm going to put him in Carnage Candy. It is an excellent way to start off the second Terrifier, showing that they are not going to shy away, and they are going to actually one-up the original Terrifier and go even gorier. So I think it's a good kill. Might be one of the weakest of Terrifier 2, just because, I mean, it's not really that unique for a Terrifier kill, so that's why it's going to go there. Then next up, we have the guy at the laundromat, who we just see with, he says something about the little girl, and Art puts a mop handle into his head. It looks fine, but I'm going to go basic slasher. Yeah, he just gets a mop handle through the top of his head, and there's nothing, and it ends. So yeah, nothing too much there, nothing to write home about. Next up, we have the people at the Clown Cafe. 14 people are shot with a Tommy gun. Then we have a few people lit on fire, including the singing lady, and then you have the serial kid. I just grouped them all into one. It's just a whole bunch of chaos, and this one's tough. This one's tough, because again, I don't like gun kills in Terrifier. The fire stunts are pretty good, and I do like the kid death, so I'm going to go basic slasher for that one, just because, I mean, gun kills are so uncreative. Like, if you use them in a horror movie, it's simply to up your body count. And I know, like, technically this is a dream sequence, but they're kills nonetheless. And it's just not, they're not great kills because it's a lot of gunshots and then people just get lit on fire. But I do like the fire stunts, and as I said, killing a kid, whether it's real or not, is something that not many horror movies do. Next up, Ricky the shop guy. I just wrote shop guy, but I think his name's Ricky. He gets stabbed in the face with a bottle. I think it like shatters and gets in his eye, and then he is decapitated. So again, I am going to put this one in gory goodness for the little extra bit of the glass getting into his eyes, and you see his eyes the entire time he's getting killed. And then it is a good decapitation, but again, decapitations are pretty basic, so that's what's keeping it out of Terrifier's best for me. But what is going into Terrifier's best? Allie from Terrifier 2, obviously going into Terrifier's best. I tried to write down all the stuff that happens to this woman, but there is way too much. I wrote skinned, cut up, salted, bleached, stabbed, beat. Like, every possible way you could torture a human being is in this. She gets skinned, she gets salt poured on her wounds, she gets bleach poured on her wounds, she gets her limbs cut off. It's so gory, and it goes on for like 15 minutes where you see this woman just getting pulverized, and then you see her body on the bed, and when her mom walks in, which adds to the horrificness, is that her mom has to see it, and you see that she's still alive, which how, but then eventually she, I'm assuming, dies from that. So yeah, one of the best kills in the franchise, going straight up to the top. Then we have her mom, Allie's mom, who is just, we don't see it. She's decapitated off screen, and her head is used as a candy bowl, which I do like the creativeness of the candy bowl. But off-screen kill, I am gonna go basic slasher. I like the shot of her head being used as a candy bowl. I think that's terrifying, but it's an off-screen kill. Not gonna get much else. Then we have Sienna's mom, Barbara Shaw, who gets her head blown off with a shotgun. I want to put it into did you forget what franchise this is, but this is easily the most gory gunshot kill I have ever seen in a movie, so it's going into Carnage Candy. It is, the kill lasts about 3 seconds. God, why are there so many ads? Kill lasts about 3 seconds, and her head is just blown to pieces, but I think it looks great, and it's the goriest gunshot kill I've ever seen in a horror movie personally, so it is going into Carnage Candy. Next up is going to be Jeff. He's just stabbed a bunch and then bleeds out. So for that, I'm going, did you forget what franchise this is? You don't get to see much of the gore. You just kind of get to see him getting stabbed a bunch in the manhood, and then we just never see him again. So I'm left to believe he bled out there, but yeah, no, it's not a good kill because it's just a bunch of. I mean, even if it was just the stabbing and we did get to see him die, it might even go into basic slasher, but he just bleeds out. So we're just gonna go. Did you forget what franchise this is? Next up, we have Brooke, who, again, a lot of stuff, so I couldn't write it all down, but she gets acid poured in her face, she gets beat in the chest, limbs with a spiked plank, and then her heart is eaten, and I'm gonna put her in Terrifier's best, because it looks great. It's a lot of stuff, again, it's very gory. The only thing I don't really like about it is that he eats her heart, but I get that, like, at this point, art is a demon, or, like, whatever, but, yeah, that's the only part I don't love, but it's too gory to not put in the top tier. Then we have Art the Clown himself, yet again. I'm going to put it into basic slasher. It's just a couple of stabs, and then his head gets decapitated, especially for this movie. It's not even one of the most gory kills in Terrifier 2, which, again, I think Art should be tortured a lot more, but whatever. He gets decapitated, and it's gory, it's good, but it's not anywhere near the best in Terrifier. Now we're on to Terrifier 3, which I believe has the most kills, or maybe, unless you're counting the Clown Cafe from the second one. I think Terrifier 3 has the most kills. So starting off, it opens the movie by killing a little kid. I believe his name is Timmy. He kills him off screen because obviously you don't want to see a kid dying on screen. You don't want to see a kid dying at all, but especially not on screen. But you do get his body afterwards, so I'm going to put it in Carnage Candy. This franchise is one of the few franchises that has the guts to kill a kid, and especially in the, like, violent and disgusting ways that they do it, I gotta give them their flowers for doing that. But it's not one of the best, obviously, because it's off screen, but it shouldn't be on screen because it's a little kid. Then we have the dad. I don't know his name, but he's just stabbed a whole bunch and then eventually decapitated. I'm going to put him also in Carnage Candy. I did really like a lot of the effects, especially in Terrifier 3. I think the effects look the best in Terrifier 3, and especially with this scene, I noticed that they looked really good, but it's, again, simple decapitation. It is a lot more gorier than Art's decapitation, and it's on screen, unlike the mom's decapitation, so I'm putting it in Carnage Candy. Then we have the mom from the opening, who is hacked in the stomach, then she's dismembered and gets the axe through her head. I'm going to put her in gory goodness. Easily my favorite of the 3 opening kills, but I think it's mainly for the effects on her stomach. When she's hacked open, I think it looks very realistic and it's very hard to watch. So it is going to go in gory goodness, but not one of the best of the franchise. Because it's the opening, you can't open with the best kill. You gotta have it later in the movie. And they do have it later in the movie. Then we have, I'm looking for his name, Officer Evans, who is strangled, and then you see his head later. And I'm gonna go, did you forget what franchise this is? Because a strangulation kill, and he was decapitated, but it was completely off screen, and you just see his head afterwards when Art's holding it onto his, on top of his decapitated body. So, yeah, no, not a good kill. Then we have the nurse, who we did see a little bit at the end of the second movie, but she's ultimately killed in this one. She's just seen being eaten by Art's severed head. I want to put it, I'm going to put it in basic slasher, but it's certainly not a basic kill. It's a weird kill, and it's just kind of like, you know what? No, I'm actually going to drop it down. It's weird, and like there isn't, it happens almost completely off screen. You just kind of, he opens the door and he sees Art's head like gnawing on her. So it's not a very good kill, but it is certainly weird. Certainly weird. Then we have Burke. Yes, Burke. He has his jaw ripped off by Vicky. Good kill. I'm gonna put it in gory goodness. I always like seeing jaws getting ripped off in horror movies. It's one of my favorite like things that we don't usually see, like in Curse of Chucky when that guy gets his jaw chopped off. I think that's my favorite kill of that movie, and it is a very good kill in this movie. Nowhere near the best of this movie, but it is very good. And it's gonna go there. Next up, I don't know if I should have even counted this one, but I have the cosplayer guy that they see on the train, because we see Art with his costume the next a couple seconds later, assuming that he got killed off screen for that costume. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have put it on here, but we're just gonna go and did you forget what franchise this is, because we don't even get to see him. Assuming they just killed him quickly and took the costume, but I don't know. Next up, we have Jackson, who is stabbed in the neck with a mirror shard. I'm gonna go basic slasher. I almost put it in did you forget what franchise this is, because it's just a simple neck stab. It's barely on screen, and he falls to the ground, bleeds out, and he's dead. It's gory, so I'm gonna put it in basic slasher, but you could certainly do a lot better, because the kill that happens right after Dennis is going into Terrifier's best, especially because this is a Christmas movie. You get a man who he gets his fingers bitten off, first of all, which is weird, and then he gets the top of his head cut open, and his head is peeled like a banana, or in this case, like a present. It's like opened like a present, and his skin flesh is peeled off by Art the Clown, leaving his skull. So yeah, that was, I think, maybe my favorite kill of Terrifier 3, but definitely going into one of Terrifier's best kills. Then we have Eddie and Smokey. I did put separate pictures for them, but they could be very well put together. They're just both gunshot kills. They're going in, did you forget what franchise this is? Because it's just a bang, bang, they're both dead, nothing happens. Moving on to the actual kill in this moment, and that is Santa Claus himself. He is sprayed with, after his costume is taken off and he's tied to a chair, he is sprayed with liquid nitrogen in his legs, and then Art hits it with a hammer, breaking off the flesh, and it looks great, but then he does it to his face, and then breaks his face, and you can see his eye moving the entire time. Santa Claus is going up into Terrifier's best. I think that this is dude, there's so many good kills in Terrifier 3. I think Terrifier 3 definitely has the best kills, but it also has some of the worst, you know, considering there's already 5 from this movie in Did You Forget What Franchise This Is? But great kill, great kill. Moving on, we have the explosion at the mall, which kills 5 people. They say 5 in a news report, but I only see 4, the mall Santa, the mom, and 2 kids, but apparently 5 people died, so yeah, whatever. I'm gonna put it into basic, no, I'll put it into Carnage Candy. It is more creative than a gunshot, but it's still, like, it's just an explosion. I feel like it's used to pad the numbers a little bit, and the fact that he blows up some little kids is, wow. Next up, we have Mia, who is cut all to pieces with a chainsaw. She gets her limbs cut off, she gets her head scalped, she gets cut in half, and she is the one that's obsessed with true crime, so she's like talking about it later in the scene, like, oh, I want to see Art's eyes, see like if there's a soul behind them, because like she was being insensitive about Sienna's incident. So, you know, when she's getting killed, Art takes off his glasses and allows her to see his eyes because he overheard her talking about that. And I think that also adds to the kill scene. And this one's going up into Terrifier's best. This one actually might be my favorite kill. No, it's definitely the present, but it might be my favorite kill besides the present. It's my second favorite kill of the movie. Then we have her boyfriend, Cole, who didn't deserve to die. I think he's a cool guy in this movie. His kill's gonna go into gory goodness, just a little bit less good than Mia's kill. I mean, it's good. I do really like the part where his leg is cut in like half, and then he tries to walk, and it like breaks out from under him. That was the hardest scene of any of the Terrifier movies to watch for me. I don't know why that particular moment really got under my skin, but otherwise, it is a very good kill, but not the best of the movie. Then we have Uncle Greg. He is killed off screen. We see his body strung up in the house with his guts hanging out and his head atop the Christmas tree. As far as a Christmas-themed kill, probably the best besides the unwrapping of the head like a present. But it is off screen, so I'm just going to put it in Carnage Candy. I like that it plays into the Christmas theme. It's one of the only Christmas-themed kills in the movie, but it's off screen, so you don't really get to see anything. But you do get to see his head on the tree, and Sienna gets her face shoved in his guts later, so it's alright. Next up, we have a bit of a controversial one. We don't really know for sure if, spoiler alert, if Jonathan died here, but I'm going with yes, but even if he didn't, it's still the skull kill. I don't know. Do I go? Did you forget what franchise is? Because it's completely off screen. I'm gonna go basic slasher. He is killed completely off screen, which I think is, if it really was Jonathan, good choice to not have a character we love that much getting skinned alive, obviously, because it's a skull, so obviously he got skinned. It's not on screen, but if it is Jonathan, then that's a good thing. But it's still an off-screen kill, and you just see a skull. So next up, we have Aunt Jess, another person who I think doesn't deserve it whatsoever. I mean, I guess she kind of was mean to Sienna, but still doesn't deserve this fate. She has a tube shoved in her mouth, which would have already pretty much killed her, but then they feed her rats through the tube, and then her throat is slit and the rats come out, and it is very gross. I'm gonna put it into gory goodness. Not quite the top tier, but still a very hard kill to watch. And lastly, we have Victoria, or Vicky. Well, I think she's possessed by a demon at this point, but either way, her body is killed. She's stabbed a couple of times, and then decapitated by Sienna, and then her body melts into, like, I think it turns into the portal from hell. I don't know. But it's gonna go into Carnage Candy. For me, I think the stabbing and the decapitation was completely fine and would have probably landed it into basic slasher. But I do like the effects of the head and the body melting into like sludge and then opening the portal to hell. I like those effects very much. So that's going to give it the little extra edge it needs to get into Carnage Candy. And that is every kill in Terrifier ranked on a tier list. Here is the completed tier ranking of all the kills. Let's head to an outro. If you did enjoy this video and want to see more like it, you can check out my channel down below, or you can check out one of the videos on screen. I have some playlists that you can watch, top 10s, tier lists if you want to see other rankings like this. Otherwise, hit the subscribe button and the bell if you want to be notified when I post any brand new videos. Comment down below some review ideas for me, and I think the next video I'll be doing is the Terrifier movie ranking, so stay tuned for that. But until next time, I'm Ethan Horror. This has been Ethan Horror.